All right, everybody, let's do this. We are going to talk about perpendicular lines, and then, of course, we're going to throw in a transversal. And then we're also going to talk about Crook problems. So the first thing we'll talk about is what happens when you have two parallel lines, A and B, and we have a perpendicular transversal, we'll call him C. When it's perpendicular to one of them, because of all of our corresponding angles, alternate exterior type stuff, every single one of these is going to be a 90-degree angle. So if you have two parallel lines and one perpendicular transversal, it's going to form nothing but right angles, which will make algebraic type of problems very easy to do. So for the first example, the first thing you look and see that there's an x and a y. So you think system. But in fact, this is not a system, and the reason why is we know that 2x all by himself is equal to 90 degrees. So we know that x is equal to 45. So once we know x is 45, we can just throw them inside of this angle. And we also know that this angle is 90 degrees because, as we just said, all of the angles are going to be 90 degrees. So this is just like saying 3y plus 45 is equal to 90 degrees. So 3y is equal to 45, which means our y is 15 degrees. Okay? Now the next example, you see an x and y in each one of our equations. So in this problem, there is no choice. You must use a system. So, because you guys need practice with systems, I'm going to say pause the video and give it a shot on your own and see if you can handle it. And let's see if you got it right. First thing you needed to do is 2x plus y is equal to 90. And you needed 10x minus 4y is equal to 90. Now you have a choice from there. What do you want to multiply by? You can multiply the top equation by either a -5 or a +4. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever your choice is. So I'm going to multiply the top one by 4, and that'll give us 8x plus 4y is equal to 360 degrees. And our x's or our y's are going to cancel out right here. And that's going to leave us with 18x is equal to 450, which means x is equal to 25. Now that we know that x is 25, we can substitute that back into one of our original equations. Again, it doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to go with 2 times 25 plus y is equal to 90, which means y is equal to 40. Okay, so if you got 25 and 40, then you successfully solved the system all on your own. Good job. Next topic is Crook problems. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can figure out the measure of the missing angle. Now this is a little bit of a tricky problem, but if you see the shortcut, it's not that bad. So why don't you think about it for a minute, pause the video, and see if you can guess what angle x is going to be. See if you can give it a try. If you came up with 70, then you're going to be correct. This is what you need to do. So we have our Crook problems, which we are going to say that these lines are parallel. And what you need to do is you need to draw in a third line that's parallel to the top and bottom. And by doing that, you in a way make x disappear and cut it into two different angles. So we have the bottom and we have the top. So now what you do is you use your alternate interior angles or same side interior angle properties to find out what that top and bottom are going to be. So if you look at this 40 here, that would be, if we look at these red lines here, an alternate interior angle with this top piece. And alternate interior angles are congruent, so the top part of that angle is going to be 40 degrees. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the bottom portion of it separately. So we're going to take these two, this blue line here, and we're going to make another set. Now you can see that this bottom part of the angle is same side interior with 150, which means they're supplementary, which means this is 30 degrees. And then all you have to do is look to see that this entire angle, which was originally x, is made up of a 40 and a 30 degree angle. So x is equal to 70 degrees. All right, so it's a little bit tricky, but you just have to know the way to do this is you need to draw that parallel line in between your crooks. So this next one is a double crook because you have two different kinks. Now, one of them is going to have a value. You got to have one with a value. There can only be one unknown right now. So we know that this is 40 degrees. And if you look, it's on opposite sides of the transversal, which means the lower portion of x is going to be 40 degrees because of alternate interior. So that's the easy part. Now you've got to somehow take this 30 at the top and work all the way down to the top part of that angle. So to do that, you need to work with this 50. So this 50 is about to get split into a top and bottom. But remember, we know the entire angle is 50 degrees. So if we look here, to get over here, you need to cross over the transversal, which means it is alternate interior, which means 30 degrees transfers to the top of this 50 degree angle. Now don't just jump and say 30 over here. Can't do that. Here's why. The top of this entire angle is 30, which means the lower portion, the top of this whole thing is 30 out of the entire 50, which means the lower portion is 20. So if the lower portion is 20, and we see that we have another set of alternate interior angles, then this 20 from up here jumps over the transversal and goes to here, which means the top portion of the x angle we're trying to find is 20, which means that entire angle is made up of 20 and 40. So in this second problem, x is equal to 60. Okay, now these are a little bit tricky, but all you are using is same side interior and alternate interior angles. Just make sure if you're crossing over the line to get to the next part, then it's equal. If you do not cross over the line, they are supplementary. Okay, now here's a couple more for you to try. There are two easy ones, and there are two that are a little bit more challenging. What I would like you to do is pause the video and try the first two, and then press play and see if you get them right. And then after that, we'll try the other one. So go ahead and pause the video and try the first two to see if you can get those crook problems correct. So let's see. The line you needed to draw was right here through the kink. 32. To get to the angle, you cross over a line. If you cross over it, that means alternate interior, which means they are congruent. From the 40, to get to the angle x you are trying to find, you have to cross over the line, which means, again, it is alternate interior, which means they are congruent. 32 plus 40 is going to give you x is equal to a 72 degree angle. In the next one, draw a line from here to here. That's the top part of your angle x. You did not cross over this line. So since you did not cross over it, that means they're on the same side of the transversal, which means they are supplementary. Same side are supplementary. Do it again from 105. 105 to x does not cross over, which means they are same side interior, which means they are supplementary. So this is a 75 degree angle. And that's going to tell you that x is equal to 85 degrees. All right, those are two easy ones. Remember, same side are supplementary, alternate interior are congruent. So here you have another double crook, which you've already seen an example of. So you can give that one a try. And then the last one is a triple crook. If you really understand what you're doing with these crook problems, you should be able to handle that guy as well. So again, pause the video, see if you can handle these two, and then we are done with the lesson. So give it a try. Let's go. You needed to draw two lines here. First step, 150 to the top part of 80 is going to be same side, so that's going to be a 30-degree supplementary angle. Now, since this entire angle is 80 degrees and we know the top is 30, that means the bottom is 50. It's just a little bit of math there. It's angle addition. 30 plus 50 is going to give you your full angle of 80 degrees. Now that we know that's 50, to get from 50 to the top part of X, you do cross over, which means that is an alternate interior angle, which means the top part of X is 50 degrees. Now you have to work with the lower portion. 145 degrees is on the same side as X. Since they are on the same side, they are supplementary, and this is 35 degrees. And now you have enough information to say that X is equal to 85 degrees. And you are done. Last example. You had a whole bunch of lines to draw. You had to draw one right there through the 60. And of course, you need one through X, and you draw one through the 50. And then, again, just pick where you want to start. Start at the top. 15 to get to the next angle crosses over. When you cross over, it is alternate interior, so they are same measure, 15 degrees. If the full angle is 60 and the top is 15, that means the bottom over here is going to be 45 degrees. And now to get to the top part of X, you're going to cross over again. Alternate interior angles will tell you that this is 45 degrees. Now you've got the top part of X. Now you need to start at the bottom to get to the bottom part of X. So 160 over here, draw a line to the lower part of 50. They are same side interior because you do not cross over the line. That's going to give you 20 degrees. If the full angle is 50 and the lower is 20, that means the top is going to be 30. And now to get from 30 to the lower part of X, you do cross over the line, which means they are congruent, which means the lower part is 30, meaning your final answer, X is equal to 75 degrees. All right, so there goes some perpendicular and some crook problems. And if you feel like you're doing pretty good with this, then you should be ready to rock on your quiz in a couple days. All right, this is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.